Kristol on Steve Malzberg. All right. I want you to listen to this sound. This, I think, captures, and I don't know what percentage of the Never Trumpers, but we're already seeing this. Here's number 6.
I'm more of a Never Trump guy. Fred Barnes said, look, if Trump's the nominee, it's not his first choice, but he can accept him, and we should work on improving Trump. And he reported that Trump, for example, has reached out to some conservative legal commentators and lawyers about who should be on his list of possible Supreme Court appointees. Maybe he'll make that list public in the near future. There are things Trump could do that would, I think, win over at least some of the doubters, maybe hit the doubters.
And you, there are things Trump can do to win you over?
For me, it's more of a matter of character, and I don't know that you can change your character at age 69. And given the things he said, even very recently, about other people and the way he demeans other people. But I guess never say never. On the one hand, I'll say never Trump, and on the other hand, I'll say never, but never say never, and I'll leave it.
Okay.
Right. So there you have it. He's convincible, he's saying. And in fact, Joe Scarborough said today, no way unless Trump changes. Excuse me. What is the change here going to be? I mean, give me a break. I think that for some people it is the guy's just such a despicable guy, and they realize this is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. It is a reflection upon who the Republican Party is. It is too clear of a mirror on the Republican Party, and it just physically embarrasses themselves, even if even if you have, I don't know, some type of unsightly mole on your face, let's say. You don't want to look in the mirror necessarily and be reminded of it. That's what this is. It exposes to them the Republican Party that they know has been there, but they don't like the fact that it's showing. And then I think for most of them, they'll come around because they just realize, man, maybe we can mitigate the loss, and hopefully he'll lose. And here's the thing. No one in the Republican Party is going to pay a price for being supportive of Trump, because that is who they are, right? And so then it just gets down to how personally comfortable, what their personal brand is to themselves, really. But there's not going to be a single person. And that's what's also sort of despicable about this. This is exactly did John McCain pay a price for nominating and making Sarah Palin his vice president? Nah, not one iota. In fact, the only price he's paying, John McCain, is one that is karmic. Because without Sarah Palin, I'm quite convinced there is no Donald Trump as the nominee. And now Donald Trump is going to come back and bite John McCain in the ass. But he hasn't paid. He didn't get invited on to Sunday shows any less. There was no company that people were like, ooh, John McCain, he's the one who introduced us to Sarah Palin. In fact, no. So that's the thing. They're not going to pay any price. The only price that any of them are going to pay is that maybe on some level in the consultant class and in the bureaucratic class, although I doubt that, certain people are not going to get paid that would have gotten paid otherwise. But for the most part, I think they're all going to come around. For the most part.
Will we see new cottage industries kind of spring up of these truth talkers, anti-PC guys, since they see now that there's an avenue in that direction?
Yeah, but we're going to see those anyways, right? I mean, it's not like, Trump was at a loss for outlets where he could juice and get his, his endorsements, Breitbart, Drudge, whatnot, different talk radio show hosts. I mean, and there's some that will go down with the ship, like a guy like Glenn Beck, who I think is clinically off his rocker now and is watching his entire empire go down in flames from a business perspective. I think he's going to hang on to dear life, but who knows where he'll be. I can tell you this: if Trump won, all these guys would fall in line. And it's going to be very interesting to watch the progression of guys like Mark Levin and Donald Trump. I mean, we've seen some of this in the past, like for instance, like a Savage Savage Nation at the beginning, like George Bush was a real problem for Savage. And then by the end, he was fine. And early on, he was sort of like, maybe, he was hemming and hawing a little bit about Obama. And then soon it was Obama was a Manchurian candidate. They all come around. Let's put it that way. I appreciate the phone call.
Well, that's why I'm a member, Sam. Thank you for your analysis. Have a great day.
I liked how Kristol weaseled there. I appreciated that.
Did you see that as a weasel?
Oh, yeah. That guy has been
never Trump, but never say never.
That was great. That my never Trump is offset by my desire to torture poor people, and I'm seeing a potential. I mean, look, Hillary might be more reliable in terms of bombing people, but he might actually drop the big one. So I got to think.
You can't have never without ever.
The quote, the great Taoist sage, Lao Tzu.
You know what never spells backwards? Are even.
Literally, he could buy me a cup of chicken soup at the Trump Tower, and I would completely reverse everything I've said in the last several months. That's what I'm trying to say.
Hi, I'm Sam Seder, and this is an Ann Coulter doll.
You should not be immigrating here. Yeah. Stay in your country and hate us.
For smart progressive talk and a little bit of this and even a little bit of that.
Mission accomplished.
Subscribe to our podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and like us on Facebook to get some of our best video clips.